Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be the weekly review of the Power Profit Scan newsletter, which is a portion of my Inner Circle subscription service. What you see here is just the member page when you log in, but this is a service here that we'll be looking at and wanting to use for kind of the backbone to look at a couple different strategies that exist out there, buying the pullback and playing the breakout. I realize it's one thing to kind of talk about strategies in theory, but it's a whole other thing to show how these can work out in the real world of trading. And that's what we have here, some real life results that were given out to members through my personal scans. Before I go any further, I do want a quick note. I'm not trying to imply that every single alert and every single scan that I do results in money making success. That would not be genuine at all. And in fact, if you've watched any of these past videos in the series, you've seen me show plenty of alerts and scans that just don't quite work out, which illustrates the overall point of why risk management and risk analysis is so important. Because yes, losing trades happen no matter what people say or people try to portray. That's just part of being a trader. But the core part is keep the losses controlled, keep the risk managed. And that way, when winning trades happen, because that's a two-sided coin. Yes, losses happen, but wins also happen. So when those wins do occur, you want to make sure that you allow your account to be able to grow as best as possible. And then the other little bit of context here is that as far as what time frame we're going to be looking at, we'll be looking at the week of September 2nd. You may be thinking, wait, why are you going so far back in the past, Clay? Now it's October. Well, that's because two reasons. First, it's given the chart and everything plenty of time to play out so that we can see what's actually happened. And then second, it's just a matter of being fair. This is a paid service, so the last thing I would want is for somebody to pay for something and then all of a sudden, oh, look, it's on YouTube for free. I'm sure you can see that point of view too. So with that being said, let's look at a couple different strategies here of breaking out and playing the pullback. The first alert from my scans that was sent out to members was on SEAS here, and this was what I classified as a risk versus reward. But in all actuality, it was a pullback. You can see price pulled back here. It's a nice solid bounce, and then once again, price was pulling back, got near this former bounce point, nice little hammer candle formed. So the big question became, hey, the prices pulled back once again. Was there going to be some sort of movement off the off the lows here? So let's see how this played out. So again, here was the alert when it was sent out. So let's see how this one played out in the real world. So you can see right there went sideways a little bit more, continued to go sideways right along that support line that was mapped out. Once again, another nice hammer candle right there. Dropped close to that 200 period moving average. In hindsight, it would have been great to just have bought slightly up above that support level of the 200 period, but that's with full hindsight. But point being, it never violated that, so I couldn't see any stop losses or such getting taken out. And then starts to show some signs of life again, and there it goes, making very, very nice progress in a quick amount of time. But then just like that fast, right back down it goes. So sure, that move was good for 8.1%. But this also, I want to classify this as a losing, strategy in terms of buying the pullback. But as far as this particular one is concerned, yeah, a little bit of a disappointment because it was rocking and rolling, things were moving, and then that fast, the price rolled back over, which brings up kind of a minor subset of a learning lesson here. And this is why always wise to be taking profits on the way up, not just totally selling out, but just, if you have 100 shares, for example, to keep the math easy, sell 25, then sell another 25 shares, because you never know when things can quickly turn around like that. So yeah, I mean, it was a winning trade, but in all actuality, maybe more of a small winner or a break-even trade. But overall, a nice little way to kind of start the week, but also disappointing at the same time. A next alert here on EMMA, and just kind of throw out, are there signs of life? The price was starting to bounce, but again, the breakout strategy. Sure, there were signs of life, but was this life going to be strong enough to actually push through that breakout point there? Were the bulls going to be able to generate enough momentum to get up through that level? So let's see if any sort of breakout actually happened. So as the week played out, you can see right there, got up there, got the breakout, pulled back a small little bit there, but point being, breakout play could have been initiated, and right there got some more follow through, continued to grind higher, and grinded even higher. So at this point, up 25%, and I'm trying to hide something from you, because it goes back to that subset learning lesson that we had in the previous example of always be smart to take profits on the way up, take profits up. Why Well, you never know when something like that could happen. Next day, just a nasty gap down. So in all actuality, it moved 25%, but I'd call this a break-even trade. Now, it very well could have been a winning trade depending on your exact money management, but it would have been for sure a losing trade if you had never taken any profits. You're like, nope, I'm holding everything. Nope, I'm not taking any profits. Go big or go home. I'm not taking any profits on the way up. Then yeah, this would have actually been a losing trade. Now, if you were smart about it, like I said, probably more so a break-even trade, maybe a small winner. But again, this is why it's important to take profits on the way out. So yeah, from the breakout perspective, good, solid breakout. I mean, it went 25%. I don't know many places in the world where you're going to have an opportunity at 25% in less than a week. But also from a trade management and money management perspective, always wise to lock in some profits on the way up because the market's unpredictable and you never quite know when something like that could happen. So overall, yeah, a good trade, but that day right there kind of threw things off a little bit. But yeah, the breakout strategy definitely worked there as long as you weren't a totally greedy savage and practice some good money management skills by locking in gains on the way up. Now we've been talking about the breakouts there. But let's go back to a pullback play. So the first one on SEAS was that pullback. Here's another one on SFUN. And as it shows, yeah, there was a big candle here, big volume. However, it was a situation where that there was probably going to be some panic. I mean, when you stop and think about it, there were some people that were buying there and there and there. And then all of a sudden the price closed all the way down there. Yeah, those people, I'm sure, had a rough weekend. And, going into the new week, I should note that the newsletter is always sent out over the weekend. That way you have plenty of time to do your scans and put together a trade plan. So it's not like you get a text alert and you have to go run and make rash decisions and not think through anything. Totally the exact opposite is these are sent out over the weekend, so you have plenty of time. But point being, over the weekend, these people that were buying, up in this area of the chart and so on and so forth, were not feeling good, and that any sort of, further downwards pressure would probably cause them to panic and freak out and potentially bring it down on the trend line for the pullback play. So pullback, buying pullbacks as a strategy. Let's see how it worked out here. So the week starts to play out, and yes, the panic did indeed pull the price back that much more right down to that trend line. So pullback initiated, and you can see right there, price hovers very, very nicely right around that trend line. So it took a few days, nothing fancy or nothing quick on the bounce back upwards, but when the price did start to bounce right there, you can see that's where it did really show some very, very nice signs of power. And you can see kept on going up there and made some more highs. So that movement right there, good for 45.6%. Now, I'm not saying anybody played it perfectly, but let's say you screwed up half the trade. I mean, you're still looking at basically 22%, we'll call it. So a 22% move within a week and a half. You're definitely not going to get 22% at your local bank. So, I mean, it's certainly a very nice move there. But, yeah, while other people were panicking, traders with a plan, traders with, a strategy, they were buying that pullback, and they were rewarded very nicely for it. The next scan that I sent out to members was TXMD, and as you can see, was there some sort of breakout starting? So, technically speaking, maybe a little late to the party. But sometimes it's better to be a tad bit late, so at least there is a party that's underway. So right here you can see that it just had started. So there's a big difference between the price being here and then the price being all the way up here. At that point, yeah, that's probably what we would call chasing. But right here, looking like it could possibly just be getting started. So as I question, hey, you know what? Is there more breakout to come? Is this party just starting? So let's see how this played out. So the week begins, some nice sideways action there. So opportunity for people to hop in right there if they wanted to. So actually a very polite move on the price's part to go sideways before then finally resuming the breakout back to the upside. And then you can see there, just not looking back, continues to break out. Little bit of a consolidation there, and then just continues to break out and continues to break out. And that move right there was not done as another huge volume surge came in, and that ultimate move right there, good for 54.3%. Once again, I'm not saying anybody played it perfectly as far as members are concerned, but again, I'll err on the side of being conservative. Let's say you screwed up half the trade. That's still right around 27%. 27% in a couple weeks, you're definitely not going to get that at your local bank. But playing the breakout right there, great strategy when you know what you're doing and you are alerted to stocks that meet certain criteria. And so right there, congratulations to members, a great breakout trade. And then the final alert that was sent out, as an FYI, I send out 5 separate scans and alerts. So this was the 5th one here, looking at MNK. And once again, looking for some panic. But the key thing here was, as that can it break above the trend line? So if it can break above it, could that create some sort of dead cat bounce? So once again, we're looking at some sort of breakout trade here. But, you don't want to buy prematurely. You don't want to get in before there's certain signals and such. So that first main thing was, let's just see if the price can even break above this trend line. So let's see how this one played out. So there is everything in place, and you can see the new week started. And yeah, no breakouts of the trend line, just consolidating right there, a nasty gap down. Again, don't buy prematurely. If you buy too soon, right there, that gap down could have really bit you. But because we were just waiting for a breakout, which, makes it a good, strategy to keep an eye on. So yeah, nothing wild, nothing much. Even here, yes, the price is bouncing, that's true. But again, if you're sticking with a breakout, then you got to see if there's any sort of worthwhile movement. And then all of a sudden, just like that, price got up there, broke the trend line, and then just continued on moving. And not only did it keep on moving that day, took a day of consolidation, and then started to pull back. But that movement right there may not look like a lot, but you have to keep in mind the price range we're talking about and just how fast, quickly it moved. But basically in 2 days, 59.6%. So again, if let's say you screwed up half the trade, 30%. And again, this move happened in less than 2 days. Breakout happened there. The next day it got up that high. So a very, very nice move. But once again, quality results from buying the breakout and being disciplined to wait for the breakout. So yes, newer trader, veteran trader, focusing on breakouts and learning how to play breakouts and using that as a strategy, definitely well worth it. If you are interested in becoming a member of the community and getting these alerts, I should note that other than these alerts, there is also a live chat room, so you can be very interactive with me and other quality traders throughout the course of the day. So it's not only the scans and the newsletter you get. There is, again, also the live chat room there. And there's a mobile app too, so that way you don't have to change your computer or anything like that. You can stay in touch at all times. So it's definitely a lot of good things going on here. And really the question you need to ask yourself, the way the math breaks down, is looking at that, is do I believe the service can make me more than $8.25 per week? If you believe the service can make you more than $8.25 per week, then you will get a great return on your investment. So that's how that all breaks down there. So if you're interested, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can either leave me a comment down below and ask, or get a hold of me through social media or through the website, whatever makes your life easier. But that is how it all breaks down, and that's how you can get access to these alerts. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, get signed up and I'll see you on the inside.